Stand by. The program will begin soon. I don't know why I'm talking about this. During World War II, we sent 90 million pounds of spam just to the Russians alone. I mean, we sent it all over the world. Our troops, especially in the Pacific Theater, ate it. That was basically what they ate all the time. 90 million pounds to the Russians. Apparently in like the 50s, Nikita Khrushchev said, you know, if they hadn't sent us all this spam, they might not have been able to feed their troops during World War II. So a little weird canned kind of ham pork product, canned meat, may have won World War II. The Fed is trending on X, and I wasn't sure why, and I'm still not 100% sure why, although part of it is because of this building that they're renovating. They're supposed to be renovating at one of the buildings at the Fed, right? And the other day, Donald Trump came out there with Jerome Powell, and they're talking about how the renovation of the building was kind of a little bit over budget, okay? First of all, the numbers on this are crazy. They wanted $2.something billion to renovate a building at the Fed. $2.1 billion. Well, this is $2.5 billion. But they're over budget by over $1 billion for one building. They're over budget over $1 billion for one building. $1 billion friggin' dollars for one building. This isn't even for building a new building. It's for renovating a building. What the actual F are they doing? If after a night of filling your rectum with vodka from a turkey baster, the cops find you changing a flat in the cereal aisle of a Piggly Wiggly and ask how much you've had to drink, and you say nothing, are you lying? Well, no. Now, if they had been asking, have you been injecting? You'd have to say yes, but they said, have you been drinking? Well, no, absolutely. Yeah, Lord Stanhope, absolutely not. In fact, you all can try to answer these questions. Stand by. The program will begin soon. A WNBA game got stopped in the middle of the game because one of the players lost their wig while they're playing, and they had to run off. And then some fan made fun of the player, and they had to run. And they kicked the fan out for making fun of a player losing the weave. Not the weave, it was a wig. Losing their wig. They had to have a timeout for the wig, a wig emergency. Which I'm like, why the F are you wearing a wig while you're playing basketball? But then yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, a game had to be stopped briefly because someone threw a big old green dildo on the floor. Someone threw a dildo out on the floor, out of the court. They had to stop the game. I don't know if they caught the person who sent the dildo, but the green dildo was on the court, and a large number of the players had no idea what to do with something of that shape, but that's okay. It happened, and then someone made this t-shirt or this meme, pay us what you owe us, which has a dildo on it. So that was fun. Hey, you know what the really good interrupt violence through community-based bystander training? Yeah, if the bystanders beat the fuck out of someone who's attacking somebody else, that would be great bystander training. They could send them to the MMA gym, you know, put them in an arm bar, smack them in the face a few times. Stop doing that bullshit. That would be the best community-based bystander training, but I don't think that's what he means. Anyway. And then the other one, they'll go back all the way to Dylan Roof. Dylan Roof's the other one, which, does anyone, okay, let me ask you something. A lot of you are right-leaning on the right. Is there anybody in this that you, anyone you know of? Is there anyone that you know of on the right who supports or supported Dylan Roof? Because I know everyone I can think of who's like, Dylan Roof, fuck that guy. He went out and murdered people in a church. Fuck that guy. But the left is like, oh, he was a right-wing extremist. Nah, he's a fucking asshole. Fuck that guy. Yeah, fuck Dylan Roof. Nobody gives a shit about Dylan Roof. Nobody claims him. Nobody wants him. He's an asshole. Okay? He's a little punk bitch asshole who killed a bunch of people in the church. Stand by. The program will begin soon. Reverend Robin Bartlett of First Church of Sterling, Massachusetts, uses John 1:14 of the Bible to justify why she brings her 11-year-old son to drag shows. This is what we're getting in the Rainbow Church. The Rainbow Church aren't exactly hiding. That's true. The Word became flesh and lived among us, and my body, your body, their bodies are home for the living God. That is why I take my 11-year-old boy to drag shows in the summer with my friend and fellow church leaders, Kate, and her 11-year-old boy. Especially if you're a man, bodies can be celebrated and played with. That's her message. What the fuck? California wants to let someone that is not related to your child remove her from school, him or her, enroll her in any other school in the state, authorize any medical treatment, including mental health services and drugs, without the parent's notice and knowledge or consent. Can you see where that might be a problem? This is not fear-mongering. I'm not being hyperbolic, she warned. These are unintended consequences, and it is terrifying. They are unconscionable or unavoidable. So that's one really bad California law that they're coming with. I can't believe. I'm just dumbfounded that they're doing it. Now this is interesting. That new mayor candidate, the leading Democratic mayor candidate for New York City mayor, Damme, wants cops to stop responding to attacks on Jews. And by the way, Jews in the New York City are victims of the majority of hate crimes. Not a plurality, but the majority of hate crimes against people in New York are against Jewish people. And you know, especially the religious hate crimes. Anyway, 345 hate crimes in New York City last year, more than all other minority groups combined, according to the New York Police Department data. Anti-Jewish crimes accounted for 54% of the 641 total hate crimes reported to police in the city in 2024. Since the beginning of the year, 60% of the 123 recorded hate crimes have targeted Jews, according to the New York Police Department. Well, Zohran Mamdani, the radical Islamist and leftist terrorist supporter, has proposed that New York Police Department not respond to hate crimes, instead that they be handled by social workers. Either this shifts resources away from responding to attacks on Jews and moves away from having law enforcement deal with those attacks, and instead has its political leftist allies deal with them by burying them. Show. If I put something on the screen, or I'm talking about it, or it's a topic or an article that I'm presenting in this show, I provide links to every single thing that I've talked about, and even more, the ones I didn't even get to, I drop them in the chat at the end of the show, and also I drop them in the description. So if you want to find these articles, they will be in the links at the end of the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
What the hell? Don't any celebrities have a birthday today? Why can't I find a celebrity birthday? Hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning and welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet, and I was trying to scour the old Twitter thingy, formerly known as Twitter X thing, to find a celebrity birthday today, and there seems to be a dearth of celebrity. Nobody wants to talk about anyone's birthday today. Happy birthday, America. Well, that's from July 3rd. What the hell? And so I'm scrolling and I'm not finding one. Oh, is it J.K. Rowling? No. That was July 3rd. What the hell? Here, let's find the latest. I'll scroll through the latest. Who the hell is that? I thought no, that's not Morris Day. Who the hell is that? I can't find. This is so weird. Usually there's the list. I could just go put in today's celebrity birthdays and make a list. Shania Twain. Okay, Shania Twain. Okay, there we go. Let's Shania Twain. Don't you hate it when I make the sausage while I'm eating the sausage? I don't. Wait, that didn't sound right. Anyway, okay, there's one. Okay, we'll put. Everyone likes Shania Twain, right? Does everybody like Shania Twain? I mean, I don't mean. I don't care if you like her music, but everybody likes Shania Twain. I'm just saying. Anyway, good morning. Welcome to Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet. It is 28th of August, 2025. And did I say 25? Yeah, I just said 25. And yeah, we had an event here in my metro area, my state, that it's got a lot of people talking. And some people just flat out lying. This was a post yesterday. I'll talk about it later. But like literally, I don't know how it within hours of the event, these dickheads posted that, and it's a lot of bullshit, bullshit, that stuff. And there's a whole lot of stuff, man. People are talking, and there's a whole lot of questions that I have, and also it's quite the conundrum for a lot of people. I'll just explain it later because I have to get into the show, but welcome to the show. Let's say hi to everybody and get this thing going. But first, I have a couple Streamlabs right off the bat, a couple of small bullets in the tip jar. First, Avocados Diabli, who gets the bell because he's also first. You get the bell and the you are this new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Oh, you weren't first. Never mind. You don't. Okay, you don't get that bell's for just the what, you're not the stream. Okay, it's Streamlabs Superstar sponsor today. You and Kara Soldier tied for that right now. But also, you did the first super chat. So there you go. So a small bowl in the tip jar. Avocados Diabli says, when was the last time Minneapolis was in the news for a good reason? And apparently we need some common sense tranny reform. Am I allowed to say that on YouTube? I don't even know. I don't care, YouTube. Fuck off. Okay, so anyway. So thank you, Avocados Diabli, for that. And then Kara Soldier, dropping in a small bowl in the tip jar, says, hey, Marty, gonna trigger some Texans as I am making chili with cube pork roast and pinto beans. Chili is life, and I even put forth the idea for a chili cook-off at work, and the managers accepted it and are gonna start planning for it. That's awesome. Good for you. I'll just give you a little bell just for that. And thank you for you're also
you are
the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day, because so far you're tied with Avocados Diabli. So anyway, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And look, if you want to make chili with the pork roast, Texans aren't going to care about that. If the chili's good, the chili's good. Okay, chili you're not required to put beef in chili. Now, I personally, I make chili with ground beef, chorizo, and a hot Italian sausage. Those are my main 3 ingredients. I use all 3 in the same chili, and it's really freaking good. I make some killer chili. I probably shouldn't expose that's one of my secrets, but yeah. So if that chili is fire, it's fire no matter what you put in it. I know some people like chicken chili. I don't consider chicken chili real because it's not red. But, if you're going to call it chili and it's chicken chili and it tastes good, I don't care. So there you go. Anyway, thank you for sharing that. Also, let's say hi to everybody. First in the chat today is Mr. Kara Soldier. Oops, what did I do there? I messed up my microphone. Also, good morning, Avocados Diabli. And Lewis is in the house. Louis. Renee Mayette, what's up? Good morning also to Mike Savage, Blarg. Plague Trucker Zach, what's up? Somnambul Nation, hello. K-Shaw, what up, Kirsten? Johnny Boomer Tech's doing the work. Special K on Acid on my honorable mention list of my favorite Canadians. Clippy, JB disguised as Clippy is in the house. What up? Also, good morning. Kay, what's up? Oh, shoot. I was supposed to call your son. I've got to talk to your son. Gosh darn it. I feel bad now. You reminded me too. I need to kick my own ass. Blue-Eyed Screams in the house. Let's see. Attack Alpaca, good morning. Clippy, your Abby keeps messing me up because I want to keep saying Ercole Di Stefano, but that's not. You have similar Abbies. The Pope is here. Pope Tire. Tyrannius III, the Blessed Lich with the daily blessing. Blessed are the sacred dead. Today we should reflect on the blessing we have in all forms. Life, love, community, and health. Just because he didn't give you what you wanted doesn't mean he hasn't given anything. So there you go. That's a great message. Did I say anybody else that showed up while I was doing this? And oh my gosh, this thing got longer. That's what she said. Also, Ms. Wild Wolf's in the house. Good morning. And I think that's just about everybody. So there we go. All right, let's get into the show. It looks like, is Monkey still streaming? Yeah, he's still streaming. Let's see what's going on over at Monkey's stream. Because you know what I do? He's probably close to being done, but let's just find out what's going on with the Ranting Monkey. What are they talking about right now? Oh, volume.
And wheel your entire family through the Orlando airport to baggage claim.
I have no idea what this is.
To then go get on a shuttle.
Okay, what are we going to say to Monkey today?
To wait an hour for a shuttle.
I'll put
ride the shuttle for another hour.
In the chat
to get to Disney.
Let's see, where's the share stream? I'm gonna share this.
While her husband slowly dehydrates.
That would be Mr. Jack if you're not familiar with Jack. Let's see.
Why did she show us her
Let's put
dark
the word
finger there?
balderdash.
I don't know. It's probably her fingers rotting off.
So we're gonna go into. We're gonna open another window.
There's some.
Here, let me turn that down.
This woman's.
We're gonna go into the. We're gonna go open a window. You're gonna click the link. You're gonna go into the chat on Monkey's chat, and you're gonna write balderdash. Not in my chat. Balder dash. And then there's the link to these streams. There you go. That's what you're gonna go. Go click that link. Type balderdash into the chat, and then come back. This is our daily raid monkey thing. All right, there we go. Everyone, balderdash. Let's see if he notices.
She's pissed off that those people were sick, not about anything else, I think.
Like, can you believe we got sick? It's so fucked up that we got sick. Okay, fine.
Oh, there's 4 of you so far. That's pretty good. Or 5 of you.
I don't understand what she's mad about, because she's clearly mad.
She's mad at all those people that got sick that ruined her vacation.
She was one of the people who got sick.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, but she wasn't as sick as everybody else. She still was.
Everyone
going.
does.
She was
Is
being
everyone
a
doing it?
trooper.
Okay,
Everybody
looks
else
like
was
it.
disloyal traitor who was like, I don't feel good. I don't want to go. Yeah.
Why are we all saying balderdash? Y'all know what balderdash means? It means bullshit.
Yeah.
This is a bad mom, and she should feel bad about herself.
I think so.
Yeah. because one, you're a pageant mom, so by
Okay,
definition,
we did
you're
our
a bad
job.
mom.
Thank you, everybody. Let's get back to my show.
But
turn that
you
off.
drug your kids and husband.
So, all right, let's start the show. Today's holiday. The holiday today. There's a couple holidays that I wanted to highlight today. One of them. Wait a minute. What is that? It's not what. Okay, it's National Burger Day. It's National Burger Day, everybody. And so for some reason, there's a penguin making a burger. I don't understand. But then somebody like National Bacon Lovers Day, but it's not National Bacon Lovers Day. It's National Burger Day. There we go. All right. That's a pretty good looking burger right there. I'd eat that. Would you eat that? Hell yeah. Look at that shit. That looks like that's fire. Okay. And then they got this one. That's an okay. Too much ketchup on that. I'm not much of a ketchup guy on burgers. I like mustard, maybe some mayo, a little bit of ketchup, but I'm like into the, I don't know, whatever. Be careful scrolling, might see a fur burger. Yeah, we're not going to scroll too hard here, but those look okay. This one's, that's not even a hamburger. That's some kind of fake something, unless they breaded the burger. I don't know. And then there you go. That looks like some Burger King shit right there. Anyway, happy National Burger Day. I'm be careful not to scroll too far. And then it's also National Red Wine Day. So all the wine moms are happy today. Today is National Drink Wine Day. It's Red Wine Day. I'm confused. Isn't every day National Drink Wine Day? Yeah, exactly. But there. So, and is that Taylor Swift? I guess so, with some red wine, and there you go. So, which makes me think of UB40. Red, red wine, closer to you, makes me forget life. Anyway, so there you go. Red Wine Day. Other holidays happening today. Red Rainbow Bridge Remembrance Day. What the fuck's the Rainbow Bridge? There's something rainbow every day. At least the rainbow baby one was, that was, I was touched by when I found out what that meant, because I didn't think it meant a bunch of gay babies. Is the rainbow is the baby you have after you'd suffer a miscarriage. So that was cool. Honor your beloved pet on Rainbow Bridge Remembrance Day. Share memories, stories, and photos to celebrate their life and legacy. Oh, like your pet's bridge to heaven, right? Is that what it means? Then I already said National Red Wine Day. National Power Rangers Day. For all you nerds or people who grew up during the Power Ranger era. I shouldn't call you nerds unless you're still playing with Power Rangers action figures. And National Burgers Day, Crackers Over the Keyboard Day. What the fuck? Don't miss out on fun. Don't miss out on the fun Crackers Over Keyboard Day. Enjoy some delicious snacks and get creative with your office lunch break. Oh, it's an office party. Hello, TC. What's up? National Bow Tie Day and National Cherry Turnover Day. So those are very specific. Happy celebrating whatever one of those you celebrate. Also, Celebrity Birthday Day. It's, as I said, I couldn't find one until now. It's Shania Twain's birthday. Yay! The lovely Shania Twain. She kind of fell off the planet as far as, music after that first album. But she's a lovely lady, and she was born this day in 1965. She's 1 year younger than me. 1 year and a few months, but back in the day when she was making videos to emulate, I don't want to play the music, but she did the old Robert Palmer, knockoff video, and that was cute when she did the Man I Feel Like a Woman and Still the One I Want. And she's got a pretty good country book, but I didn't listen to her much after the pop stuff went away. So there you go. Happy birthday, Shania Twain. And then also, today is, oh my God. So today is the anniversary of Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech back on August 28th, 1963. Okay, that was before I was born. And so that's trending today, right? And when I clicked the link to the I Have a Dream trending topic, good morning, Evan S., by the way. this is the first thing that popped up. I have a drink. That's just wrong. Oh my God. I don't know if I want Obama to get arrested because I don't know if he actually did anything bad. I don't want him arrested, but I just thought this was humorous. But I wouldn't care if like people who surrounded him got arrested, especially Hillary Clinton. Anyway, in August 28, 1963, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his famous I Have a Dream speech in Washington, D.C. before a crowd of some 250,000 people at the end of the 1963 Civil Rights March on Washington, D.C. It remains one of the most famous and inspirational speeches in history. And I just didn't say just history. I not just American history, but in history. So there you go. All right. And do I have something else for the day? Let's see. Oh, and then the Catholic holiday today. It's the Feast of St. Augustine's, apparently the saint of all saints. And for example, someone says, there is no saint without a past, no sinner without a future. That's a quote from St. Augustine. Augustine, through being brought up in early childhood as a Christian, lived a dissolute life of revelry and sin, and soon drifted away from the church. After his conversion, attributed largely to the prayers of his mother, Saint Monica, he grew to become one of the most significant and influential thinkers in the history of the Catholic Church. Saint Augustine, pray for us. So he's a saint of the Catholic Church. Now, got some people to thank. Like I didn't forget you all here. And here's the old notification list. And there was one that threw me off a little bit. So thanks to people sharing the show. First, Somnambul Nation always beats me to the punch. And then I thought, when you did this though, I thought you were doing a let's go, because when I scroll up, I don't really look to see what it is. It's just all of a sudden I see, post. And I thought this was a let's go, but instead he just said, might I make a suggestion on this fine Thursday morning? A new Cracker Barrel logo. I didn't realize they did decide to change the logo again, and well, that is quite the improvement, because that boring old circle one was pretty bad. So yeah, there you go. There's the new Cracker Barrel logo that they're gonna put out. That'll piss off some people. Also, thank you, JB, who dropping a let's go and whatever the hell that is. It looks like Chris Christopherson. Getting a mist facial or some shit. I don't know what that is. Then also Scribe Light retweeted that. And the Daily Woo! Ric Flair from Tyre Alexander. Thank you, sir, for reposting that. And the people who reposted my post, Amazing Disgrace, Tyre Alexander, JB, Somnambul Nation, and Kirsten Shull, a.k.a. K. Shull. And then also TC, thanks for tweeting out the show. Greatly appreciate it. I'm just reposting as I go. Let's go. We got the big dog. Not really good at jumping over shit. I like it though. Thank you for dropping that one. That's a funny one. And then Somnambul Nation replied to me saying, oh shit, I thought that was a reply, a let's go reply to my show. But oh, stop. Go back there. All right, so there you go. Thanks all the people tweeting out the show. Good morning, Midnight in Exile, by the way. I see you here. By the way, we have 24 people, 11 likes. Okay. Guess I'm feeling loved right now. Okay, let's move on. Let's get into the show because I got some things I got to get to. And it's particularly this main topic of what happened in my metropolis yesterday. To be fair, to be accurate, it's the name the Cracker Barrel logo should be Confederate cavalry captain drinking garbage bourbon till he gets the wet spot in his pants. Well, that's weird. I want a picture of someone pissing themselves. Okay, there you go. You have 12, LOL, and it's better than my 9. Yeah, but I've been doing this for 7 years. I've been 12 likes, 30 people watching. That's, I don't know. I enjoy doing it though, so I don't care. All right. For some reason, Rey Mysterio Jr. is trending. Now, if you're a wrestling fan, at all, or if you just know anything about wrestling, Rey Mysterio Jr. is this little dude who wears a mask when he wrestles. And I kind of always wondered why it was that this guy, and he's a little dude compared to all the other professional wrestlers, he's a little dude. And I didn't know why he was trending. I thought maybe it was his birthday. Maybe he did something significant. Maybe, made an appearance at a WWE event. I had no idea. But the first post I saw about this was kind of my Rey Mysterio was great. Okay, yes, he's a very fun acrobatic wrestler to watch. But someone posted something regarding Rey Mysterio Jr. that I can kind of concur with. And this is it right here. I stopped watching wrestling when Rey Mysterio won this match. Rey Mysterio had a 1-on-3 match against Big Show, whatever the fuck his name is, and this dude that can't speak English that was in the longest yard. And he won this match. Now, this was the dumbest shit I've ever seen. This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. What do you mean, boomer? Oh, come on. That's edited, dude. What's edited? What was edited? What was edited? Oh, wait. There was by the way, also on this day, 5 years ago, Chadwick Boseman passed away. He lost his battle with colon cancer. Or 4 years. He had lost a battle with colon cancer. He was a great actor. I mean, granted, he was in, what was he in? He was in Black Panther. He played Jackie Robinson in 42. I think he played Martin Luther King. If you ever saw, is it Get On Up? What's the James Brown movie? He did a James Brown movie. He was magnificent in that. And so, yeah, a loss of a great actor. I don't have him on the screen. A loss of a great actor 5 years ago today, Chadwick Boseman. So may he rest in peace. All right, back to, he's bigger than that? Wait, what's edited? Oh, yeah, that is edited. Oh, I see what you're saying. It is edited. But still, is that edited? He's not bigger than that. He's like 5'4". And this guy is officially, I think he's officially 6'9", but they say he's like 7'2" and whatever. But anyway, yeah, Ray's a short dude. And there's no way that the way they, I don't know, that whole match was stupid. Anyway, I don't know why he's trending, but I saw that and I'm like, fuck. I like Rey Mysterio Jr. Okay, but still. All right, let's move on. I thought it was tweaked, LOL. Could be. Interesting news. Now let's get into some news, or newsy news, not thing that most people should give a shit about. But apparently, Ashley Babbitt was trending. You know Ashley Babbitt, the woman who got shot on that January 6th day in 2021 when she was climbing through a window that somebody broke and the guy shot her. She was unarmed, but whatever. She was look, and I say, and I this is where I kind of diverge paths from some people who are, people have the same opinion of January 6th as I do, but I diverge on this one topic that, while I don't think, I don't know that the officer necessarily did something wrong, or did he? It's like, look, you're in a building that you're not supposed to be in, and you're trying to break into a restricted area. Now, did the officer see a weapon? I don't know, probably not. But so I don't know that you shoot an unarmed person. But the problem that comes up when you say that is, the standard over the years prior to that was if a police officer shoots an unarmed person, well, that's bad. Okay. Now, so there's some ways to say, okay, probably shouldn't have been doing what she was doing. But again, the rule was if you shoot somebody unarmed, then the officer's at fault. So there's a little bit of, for me, there's some cognitive disconnect and dissonance on that. But anyway, the reason she's trending is people are saying justice for Ashley Babbitt's family. Ashley Babbitt's military honors have been fully restored after having them stripped following January 6, 2021. And she will be, I guess they're eligible for now a full military funeral. The U.S. Air Force has finally agreed to provide a full military honors funeral to Ashley Babbitt. Ashley was unarmed Air Force veteran who was shot and killed inside the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. Thanks, Tom Fitton and Judicial Watch, for pursuing this so Ashley gets the respect and honor she deserves. Thank you, President Trump. I don't know who that is, for doing the right thing so Ashley's husband, Aaron, and her mom may have some closure. Ashley Babbitt never forgot. Now, if we want justice to finally be served, Michael Byrd should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. That's the officer who shot her for the execution of Ashley Babbitt at the U.S. Capitol. I guess, would you shoot James Brown if you caught him spying on you peeing? What the hell kind of question is that? That sounds like a Friday question. He's a little dude too. I'd whoop his ass. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, they've restored Ashley Babbitt's military record, whatever. And some people are saying it's they should arrest Michael Byrd. Now, I haven't scrolled far enough to find the people who are mad about this. I'm sure there's plenty of them, particularly some people in Congress that are probably mad about this. Here's Tom Fitton talking about it. Update, $4.975 million settlement of Ashley Babbitt's wrongful death lawsuit. Okay, that was back in June. So now they restored her military record. So that's why she's trending. All right, next. Second quarter GDP is out, and it's good news. The second quarter GDP, remember, it was 3.3%. Well, they revised and better than expected, 3.3% versus 3.1% expected. Remember when all the experts swore that we were headed for a recession? They were wrong again. The Trump economy is doing well. I wouldn't say it's roaring, but 3% is probably the average growth that you want. You don't want to get much higher. You don't want to get overheated growth because that causes inflation. You don't want lower growth because that causes unemployment. So, great news. Second quarter GDP was revised up to 3.3%. Here's this guy talking about it.
Second quarter GDP are now hitting the wires. 3% was our last look. It now jumps up to 3.3%. But from a comp basis, that would still be the best quarter since September of 23, third quarter of 23.
There you go.
Second quarter
so that's
GDP
good news.
are now hitting.
Probably won't get any interest rate reductions yet, though. Where's this shirt come from? Oh, that's my Jimi Hendrix shirt. I didn't even know that was in here. I'm just looking over. There's a shirt hanging over here on the side of the desk. So second quarter GDP beat second consumer spending beat second quarter price index in line. It beat expectations. Quarter two PCE beat expectations. Quarter two core PCE prices in line. Jobless claims beat expectations. Continuing jobless claims beat expectations. So what's Jerome Powell going to do now? Now here's how they said it on the other business channel. That's Fox Business Channel. Let's see what this lovely young lady says.
This is the first revision of second quarter GDP.
I don't know who she is,
but it did come in better than expected, 3.3%. The street was looking for 3.1%. And again, this is higher than that initial read we got of 3%. And real quick, we did get jobless claims that came in kind of in line here, 229,000 jobs. The estimate was 230,000. And as far as GDP, this.
Okay, so that's the jobless claims in line with what they were doing. More employment, stronger GDP. How does Jay cut rates in September? How does he? Does he or not? So that could signal a upcoming rate cut in the Fed rate. That, you know what? Do y'all know what the Fed rate even is? So the Fed rate. Hello, Green Badger Outdoors and Ranting Monkey. What's up, brother? Nice to see you. Bring some people with you next time. I've never had I've been doing this 7 years. Oh, wait. I did have one raid once. Scribe had a raid on my channel once and brought over about 40 people. But I need a good raid one of these days, just for the hell of it. I don't mean like the bug spray. Don't start killing all these flies in my studio. What the fuck is all these flies in here? Anyway, welcome to the show, Monkey and Green Badger Outdoors. All right. What was I going to talk about? Other training shit. Oh, the CDC. Hey, the CDC is also trending. Apparently, some people are resigning or getting fired or something from the Center for Disease Control. And one of them is that dude who the BDSM dude. This guy, he's one of them. Remember him? I really don't know what this guy is doing. Apparently he's gay, so he's talking about safe sex, and he's got lots of tats and shit and whatever. And he's rides in the parade, in the Pride Parade. Dr. Dimitri Daskalakis? That's like Snuffleupagus. It's hard to say. He's resigned. He just resigned from the CD and then trashed RFK Jr. on the way out. You know, that the CD that did so well during COVID. Anyway, so some people are celebrating this. So lives a TikTok. This freak just resigned from the CDC. More winning. So, just in, FAFO, CDC leadership pushed back on RFK Jr. changing vaccine policies. Today, he revoked the emergency use authorization for the COVID vaccine. Also today, the CDC director was fired and the CDC vaccine unit director resigned. Get out of RFK's way. He's on a mission. Now, I didn't even know that the COVID vaccines were still under the emergency use authorization. So you know what that means? That means they need to get it approved through regular channels now. Are they even going to be able to use those vaccines anymore until they get it run through the testings, authorization shit? I don't know, man. Anyway, CDC Director Susan Manares, on top of her being fired, the following people have reportedly resigned. Director of the CDC Vaccine Unit, CDC Chief Medical Officer, Head of CDC Zoonotic Division. The purge just happened. Wow. Here's a report. Is this it? Oh, here's the report from the Voldemort of News, aka Fox.
I'm not going to comment. It would be inappropriate for me to comment on a personnel issue. What I will say is, President Trump has very, very ambitious hopes for CDC right now. CDC has problems. We saw the misinformation coming out of COVID. They got the testing wrong. They got the social distancing, the masks. The school closures that did so much harm. You know what's funny about that too? So it was weird that a lot of the countries that, when COVID was happening, would follow our guidelines and all that, and the World Health Organization, whatever. But there's one country that didn't follow any of it, and that was Belgium. Belgium didn't do any of that shit. They didn't do the social distancing. They didn't do the masks. They didn't do any of that shit. And their results were no better or worse than, on average than, any other country. They didn't do any of it. They said, fuck it, we're not doing any of this shit. So nothing happened. But anyway, let's see what else he has to say here. Today on CDC's website right now, they list the 10 top the 10 greatest advances in medical science, and one of them is abortion. Another is fluoridation. Another.
One of the 10 top advances in medical science is abortion. And look, let me remind you again,
I am not against legal abortion. I think it should be restricted just a little bit more. I think it should be, and I think it's unethical at some point during that pregnancy. And I'm not a fan of it. I don't think it should be illegal, but I also think there's a point where it should be and where it should be unethical, and there should be some very extreme circumstances for it to happen, not just the willy-nilly, oh, I got laid and oh my God, I got pregnant by accident because I, didn't take any precautions, so now I'm gonna just dump this one in the bin. Good God. Anyway, what else? What else they have on there?
There's vaccines. So we need to look at the priorities of the agency. If there's really a deeply, deeply embedded, I would say, malaise at the agency. And we need strong leadership that will go in there and that will be able.
Okay, he's not saying anything, so I'm not going to listen to it. But anyway, those people have resigned and or been fired. And there you go. Someone says, I really don't care if the CDC doctor issues a letter of resignation. We're the least healthy of any first world countries with the shortest life expectancy. Whatever the CDC, FDA, and NIH have been doing for decades is apparently causing more harm than good. It's almost as if they want to keep us alive long enough to pay taxes, and then they want us to dead before we can become a burden, kind of like cattle on a farm. I hope the entire system crashes. Well, that's wow, that's pretty harsh. Good morning, Select Boy.
Yeah, boy.
All right, next. How much time? Okay, I got to get to the main topic, so I got to go faster. Okay, so anyway, this is, by the way, the deep state is full of panic. The CDC director was just publicly fired, and she wasn't even in her role for a month. But her lawyer said she wasn't fired. Now, 4 other leaders are resigning too, so here's what happened. First, it's important to know that Susan Monterez was not President Trump's or RFK's preferred pick for the CDC director. Dr. Dave Weldon was first nominated for the CDC director, but was pulled last hour because he didn't get enough Senate support. That's when Susan Monterez was nominated. Secretary Kennedy showed public support, but called out the BS the moment it happened. Kennedy does not have full control over his department. There's that. Bill Cassidy does. In exchange for confirming Kennedy in the Senate, he had a long list of demands. RFK will have to have a close working relationship with Cassidy with multiple meetings a month. Cassidy will help hire for the health agencies. Kennedy will work with current safety monitoring systems and not establish parallel systems. Maintain the CDC's advisory committee on immunization practices recommendations without changes. So he had all these, to get someone approved, he had all these conditions. Also, they said the CDC will not remove statements on their website pointing out that vaccines do not cause autism, will not use sue and settle techniques to change policies without Congress. Kennedy will come in front of the HELP committee on a quarterly basis if requested. So that's what Bill Cassidy wanted. And then Cassidy will use his authority to rebuff any attempt to remove the public's access to life-saving vaccines without ironclad evidence that says otherwise. Cassidy will watch for any effort to wrongfully sow confusion. So, it's S-O-W, dummy, not S-E-W, about vaccines. So, it is speculated that Monterez was actually picked by Bill Cassidy since he holds the power in the Senate. He's the head of the Health and Human Services Committee or whatever. Less than a month after being confirmed, she was booted. First, the Washington Post leaked it, and shortly after, HHS confirmed it. So how'd they know? But her attorney says she has neither resigned nor yet has been fired. So Abby Lowell and I, Mark Zaid, represent Susan Monterez. Look, aren't those two like heavy-duty Democrat peoples? I don't even know. And then an anonymous source said that Kennedy instructed Monterez to fire CDC's top leadership and said she called Bill Cassidy, "Daddy, he's trying to make me do something I don't want to do." Okay, I'll take care of it. And that put Kennedy over the edge. The official who spoke in condition of anonymity for fear of retribution said Mr. Kennedy summoned Dr. Monterez in his office on Monday and demanded that she resign. When she refused, Mr. Kennedy demanded that she remove the agency's top leadership by the end of the week.
So not long after Monterez was fired, top CDC officials started to resign. This includes Dr. Dimitri Daskalasis, the tattooed and BDSM connoisseur, who used scientific reality and pregnant people in the same paragraph. Dimitri was the director of the National Center for Immunization and Respiratory Diseases. He promotes the COVID vaccine, LGBTQI, and the previous administration. Dr. Daniel Jernigan was the doctor of the National Center for Emerging and Zoonotic Infectious Diseases. Last year, he swore to Congress that COVID-19 vaccines are safe and effective. It has been also reported that Dr. Deborah Hurry, that's how it's spelled, chief medical officer and deputy director of the program and science at the CDC, also resigned. And so did Dr. Jennifer Lauren, director of the Office of Public Health Data Surveillance and Technology. And it's unclear if these employees left in anticipation of their dismissal. So the CDC has big things ahead. Secretary Kennedy is announcing his findings on the cause of autism next month, and we do not need these bad actors in the way. We are 48th in life expectancy worldwide, but spend most of it on healthcare. Everything we have been doing is wrong. So that's a thread I have separately out there if you're interested in what happened at the CDC. Next, RFK Jr. is also trending because of that. We can skip that one. Let's talk about Minneapolis. What the hell is that going on here? Oh, is that frozen? Okay, well, that's not good. As you know, there was an event in Minneapolis yesterday involving things that spit out projectiles at a high velocity and enter people and often end people. And so the one thing I noticed yesterday, not one thing, but one of many things. A friend of ours, my wife was on the phone, and she said, "Yeah, there was a mass shooting, mass pew pew event in Minneapolis," and so I got on X, the app formerly known as Twitter, just to see, okay, where, what, when, and how, all that stuff, the things you need to know when you want to talk about something. And, oh, for fuck's sake, why is this doing this? Okay, for some reason, the trending topic on X, as you go into the Explore tab, the first thing up here is about Minneapolis. Apparently, a lot of people are trying to access this event page, and so it keeps crashing. Let me see if it'll work now. Okay, here we go. Hopefully, let's see. Okay, so here it is. Transgender gunman kills 2 children in Minneapolis school attack. On August 27th, a tragic shooting at Annunciation Catholic School in Minneapolis claimed the lives of 2 children, an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old, and injured 17 others, including 14 children and 3 adults. The suspect, 23-year-old Robin Westman, who was identified as transgender, died by suicide after the attack, leaving behind a manifesto expressing hatred towards Christians and other grievances. Classified as domestic terrorism by the FBI, the incident has fueled debates on gun violence and societal issues, which is no shock every time one of these happens. Now, also, by the way, normally when this happens and you hear about it, like people immediately hear about it, and people start immediately popping out posts about what happened, claiming it's this is Trump's America, claiming this is, right-wing nut jobs and blah, blah, blah. One of the most, there's a couple of that very egregious examples of this was by Occupy Democrats. Now, before any details of this incident came out, Occupy Democrats posted this bullshit that was in my thumbnail, which they said, the Minnesota Catholic school shooter has been identified as 20-year-old Robin Westman. On his gun and gun magazines were written anti-black, anti-Hispanic, and anti-Semitic messages such as 6 million wasn't enough. He's not
an immigrant. He's not Antifa. He's not ISIS. He's yet another right-wing, white nationalist, homegrown terrorist, just like nearly all the others. Hit thumbs up if America has a problem a wall can't fix. Now, everything on this little post, well, is a lie. Well, wait, it's a lie if you're a Democrat. Everything on this post, if you're a Democrat and you read this and because this was on Instagram and it was on Facebook and getting thousands and thousands of retweets and posts and likes and whatever, thousands before any of even before the dead kids were even cold, they posted this. They made it up, but thousands and thousands of reposts, whatever, wherever they go, and likes and whatever. Well, now the reason I said everything on here is a lie, if you're a Democrat or a progressive or a left wing or whatever, all the same shit. They said he's not an immigrant. Well, I'm sorry. This is a trans woman. Did they misgender? Did they misgender this guy? This girl? Whatever they call it. Whatever the fuck that is? They misgendered him. I'm surprised the trans activists aren't out there just screaming at the top of their lungs, you misgendered her. So, obviously, this brings up a huge argument about guns and whatever. On the left, it's all about guns, and on the right, it's all about trans. However, the reason on the right it's all about trans is because there seems to be a trend lately. If you haven't noticed, Uvalde shooter was trans, Denver shooter was trans, or non-binary. Georgia shooter trans, Nashville shooter trans, Colorado shooter trans, Aberdeen shooter trans. Oh no, the Colorado shooter is, the Denver shooter was trans. I don't know what the other one. Minnesota shooter trans, Iowa shooter gender fluid, Philadelphia shooter trans. It just seems like, but again, and it's causing some major cognitive dissonance on the left, because they want to say that all these school shooters are white males, but if they're trans, that's a problem for them. So look, now is this one going to get, oh, by the way, and this dickweed had a manifesto too. Somehow though, the manifesto was put out on the internet, and so some people got a hold of it. Also, he did some, like, at his own, like a verbal manifesto on YouTube. So they have that, and people have archived that. So all kinds of people talking about this. And again, this is this bullshit from Occupy Democrats, as I already showed you. And also things trending because of it are guns, because people are talking about guns. Here's Byron Donald saying this tragedy is not about guns, because everyone's ban weapons. We don't even know for sure. We didn't know what kind of weapon they used, even. But anyway, here's Byron Donalds.
When kids are getting shot at in their pews at a Catholic school mass, and your crime plan is to have National Guard put mulch down around D.C., maybe you should rethink your strategy. That's what Jen Psaki said. And she's trending too, and there's a lot of replies to Jen Psaki. We'll get to some of those. Setting aside the fact that that's a run-on sentence and a non sequitur, what's your point about that?
Jen Psaki is a hack trying to make a political point. The reality is the tragedy that occurred today in Minneapolis is once again where the Democrats are ignoring some of the serious mental health challenges affecting young people in the United States.
Yeah, making everybody
especially around
trans.
gender identity, this transgender movement that they have fully gotten behind. On a broader level as a country, we have to take mental health much more seriously. I mean, look at the magazines, what was written on these magazines, talking about going after Christians. Where is your God? Going after Israel. Actually writing there to kill Donald Trump. This is the insanity from the hatred that has come from the left. And so if they want to now come out and be mad at people who are trying to sympathize and empathize with the families, and especially the families of these two young kids that were lost, they need to re-examine everything about their party. It's not the time for politics. It's about comforting the families who have lost two young kids and then examining all the public policy so that this doesn't happen again. And I will tell you, once again, this is not about guns. This is about mental health issues that the radical left refuses to acknowledge comes from their crazy ideology, which is damaging so many children in the United States who are now becoming young adults.
When kids are getting shot at.
Okay, so there you go. That's Byron Donald's talking about it. Governor Kathy Hochul, 2 children murdered, over a dozen injured. As a mom and a grandma, my heart breaks. As a leader, I'm furious. Weapons of war have no place in our communities. Congress must renew the assault weapons ban now. You know, does this dumbass, do these people realize, and again, this is it becomes a gun debate in which people don't know what they're talking about. Like, obviously, most gun crimes and even most mass shootings with guns are not done with assault weapons, so to speak. They're done with handguns, but whatever. But what would an assault weapon ban have done for this particular case? Would have you just used different kind of weapons? I don't know. And the cognitive dissonance, Hunter pardoned from 3 gun-related crimes. I do not ever want to hear another liberal Democrat about gun control laws. Yeah. Huh? By the way, thank you, Avocados Diablo. I regret that I have to read this, people, because again, these kids, they were praying in pews or whatever. Avocados Diablo with a small bullet in the tip jar, a 223. Is that appropriate? I don't know. Avocados Diablo says, the Minneapolis shooter putting the pew in pew pew. So, thank you, Avocados Diablo. I think. I don't know. So anyway, we don't have a gun problem this country. We have a mental illness problem. When will that be addressed? Now, ABC says the trans shooter had Trump's name on his gun and conveniently failed to explain the context or show the images. The shooter wrote he wanted to kill Trump. Oh, yeah. This is the other thing. So when they report on this, because they're reluctant.
Robin Westman.
They're reluctant to report this, right? And this is maybe why the dumbass at Occupy Democrats posted that. Listen to how they describe this. Pretend you don't know anything about this incident. Pretend you don't know anything about this incident, and listen to this description of the event.
Was able to leave what police called a video manifesto that they're now going through to try and establish motive. We've also been going through it and can tell you there are crude diagrams of the church. There are also photos of the weapons, and they include all sorts of writings, the names of past mass shooters, criticism of Israel, the name of President Trump written on the guns. There are also racial slurs, nihilistic statements, all painting the picture of a disturbed individual who carried out this mass shooting on the first week of school at the Annunciation Church in Minneapolis.
Now, have you heard that report and you didn't know anything about it? Trump's name on the gun. Israel on the gun. Racial slurs. What would you think? What would you first think? Oh, this is some, you know,
And also notice they don't know. I bet they didn't say her. I bet they didn't say she. I'll bet you. I wish I could see this whole report so I could see if they say she. I bet they don't. Why did ABC leave out the fact that he wanted to kill Trump? They did it on purpose so their viewers would think the shooter is a right-winger. If not for X, we would have probably never known the truth. That's probably pretty accurate. That's so dirty. It's so dirty. It's like yeah, here it is. There's the supposedly the weapon. Kill Donald Trump, rest in peace. And something. I don't know what that says. But oh my God. So anyway, I'm gonna keep going here. Which and trans is trending because again, this is another shooter that was trans or all the gender shit. Look, who do you think is who do you think is stoking more anger and violence through rhetoric right now in this country? Would it be the left or be the right? The people who hate Trump or don't like this government, who's in charge in the government right now, who is encouraging violence, who is stoking violence. And look, by the way, the other part that you're probably not going to hear, and I still need to try to fact check this, but it's something that I've heard and I don't know. So take this with a grain of salt, take it with an entire fucking salt lick. I don't care. That almost every school shooter since I think they started recording these in the 1970s, I think, whatever, for the last 50 years. So that'd be, yeah. They say every single one has been on some kind of medical mood altering drug, like antidepressant or something like that. And was this trans shooter also on hormones, testosterone, whatever? And also the idea that this many of the recent shootings, which this one seems to be a copycat of, with all of them having some kind of gender confusion, which we know that the ideation of self-ending is higher in those people, regardless if they've transitioned or not. Before transition and after transition, it doesn't change that. So this are we gonna have a discussion about that? Now, here's Amy Klobuchar talking about this. There's no way to pin an ideology on this. Listen to this. I think if you, by the way, there is a copy of manifesto being disseminated on X. The idea that there's no ideology behind this is bullshit. You know why there's no ideology to this? Well, let's listen to her, and then I'm going to explain what she's saying.
These kids did extraordinary things, but they never should have been put in that position in the first place. This was a madman. He was an all-purpose hater, by the way. Hated groups, left, right, you name it. There's no way to pin an ideology on this, and I think people should remember this as the facts come out about this manifesto. But what I learned from this, once again, is that guns, and we're a proud hunting state. There's a lot of law-abiding gun owners in Minnesota, but there's got to be more we can do.
There's no way to pin an ideology on this, huh? Really, Amy? You know why there's no way to pin an ideology on this? It's because it matches your ideology, Amy Klobuchar. That's why you can't pin it. You don't want to pin an ideology on it because it matches your ideology. And no one is, whenever it matches your ideology, the media, the everyone in government, whatever, oh no, this is nothing about ideology. The extremely rare cases where it is somebody actually right-wing-ish or even hint of right wing, then it's all about ideology. Oh, those violent right wingers. But by the way, most of these mass shootings, I hate to break it to you assholes, generally have left wing ideologies over and over and over, almost every time.
It's extremely rare for someone on the right to do something like this. It happens. I'm not saying it doesn't. But in the big picture, it's very few and far between when you take the whole, the whole class of these assholes who do these kinds of things. The left is far more violent, no matter what the stupid fake studies and reports you say are. I watched them. And also, it's funny because they always say, oh, it's only... Trey Gowdy was on Fox News saying, it's always straight white males. Excuse me? Really? All the mass shooters are straight white males? All the school shooters? Not these last 9. And I'm not defending straight white males. I'm just saying they have to make it a class of people that nobody can get mad. You can't get mad about saying it about them. When mass shootings, it's always white males. Are you kidding me? Half of mass shootings are in the hood. Half. If you go through there's different lists of mass shootings, mass shooting tracking list, and half of them are in the hood. It kills more black people. But guess what? They don't give a fuck about black people. Some black people, there's a mass shooting in a black neighborhood. It doesn't make the news. Why? It doesn't make national news. Why? Well, I don't know. Maybe they just don't want to, talk about that ideology or that they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about it when it's someone that they like. So, I worry about relatives who live in the hood more than I worry about someone that's sitting in a Catholic school. But guess what? The ones that get when it is finally a straight white male, it's funny how much we end up knowing about them, except for that Las Vegas one. We still don't know shit about the Las Vegas shooter. But this one, thanks to the internet, you get to know a lot about this dickhead. Other things, and then Jen Psaki's trending. Someone just shot her down. She wrote this little thing about prayer's not enough. Here's one of the replies. She says, prayer's not freaking enough. Where is it? Prayers does not end school shootings. Prayers do not make parents feel safe sending their kids to school. Prayer does not bring these kids back. Enough with the thoughts of prayers. First of all, do you realize the other part of this is when you constantly amplify every single one of these events, you would think that it's an epidemic of thousands of these are happening. Do you know how many freaking schools there are in the United States? Siri, how many public elementary and high schools are there in the United States of America?
As of 2021, there were 70,055 public elementary schools and 23,519 public secondary schools.
So
Since
there's
the 1920s, the number of public schools in the United States has been declining. By comparison, there were 271,319 public schools registered in the United States in 1990.
So there's 100,000 public schools in the United States. How often does this happen? And look, it sucks when it happens. And that's a private school. I didn't even count the private schools. There's about total number of schools is just over there's 250,000 some when you count all the private schools too. So it's not something it's still rare, but it's a news because it's an awful tragic event. News is all about the dirty laundry, as Don Henley would say. And the dirtier the better, and nothing's dirtier and uglier than a school shooting. And so it gets propped up, and plus it's beautiful political fodder. It's beautiful, fodder for politics. But this one has a little bit for everybody: the trans kid, the guns, the everyone, the mental health issues. There's tons of things about this. Jen Psaki sobbing on live TV because Christian offered prayer. Oh, the answer though to Jen Psaki. I didn't read the answer. Your party encourages mental illness in telling men they can be women, then encourages them to identify as victims when the world does not indulge their perverse fantasies, and then screams prayers are not enough when insane transgenders shoot up schools. Prayer is vital, so is a mentally balanced populace that recognizes reality. Hello, Woo, my dear friend from high school, now at studios. Good morning. So anyway, oh, holy crap, JD Vance absolutely duked Jen Psaki for attacking Christians for prayers after the Minneapolis trans shooter havoc. Again, the same thing. JD Vance's answer was, we pray because our hearts are broken. We pray because we know God listens. We pray because we know that God works in mysterious ways and can help inspire us to further action. Of all the weird left-wing culture wars in the last few years, this is by far the most bizarre. How dare you pray for innocent people in the midst of a tragedy? What the fuck are you talking about? Okay, he didn't say fuck, but you know what I'm saying. So yeah, people are nuking her. So there's lots of articles about this. Here's Breitbart, Minnesota church school shooting. Suspect identifies as female, changed name at 17 years old. So this person's been trans as forever. Let's see what pronouns that Breitbart uses for this person. Senior administration official confirmed to Breitbart News that the alleged shooter at Minneapolis Catholic school changed from a male name to a female name at 17 years of age and identified as a female. The document posted on social media was confirmed as authentic by the official. The document describes the name change has occurred in 2020 when the alleged shooter was a minor and required parental sign-off on the change. Fox News correspondent Brooke Taylor reported that this mother signed off on the name change from Robert to Robin. Rockin' Robert. I shouldn't have said that. Breitbart News reported the police indicated the alleged shooter used a pistol, a rifle, and a shotgun to carry out his attack. Oh, so it wasn't just an assault rifle, huh? Ha! Interesting. A pistol, a rifle, and a shotgun. Didn't say what kind of rifle. Shot 17 people and then took his own life. Oh, they used his, so they misgendered him. Other articles, trans Minnesota Catholic shooter YouTube manifesto included vile anti-Trump messages written on guns. So we know that this was an anti-Trump person, not a white nationalist, Occupy Democrat, you fucking assholes. FBI investigation in the Minneapolis shooting. This is, oh my God, I actually got an article out of the Daily Wire. How about that? FBI investigating Minneapolis shooting as a domestic terrorism hate crime against Catholics. Okay. No! Not a hate crime. Because that's a ideological bullshit. We will prosecute you for what you think. No, if he was live, you would prosecute him for what he did. I think shooting people is enough. I think every time you shoot somebody, there's a little bit of hate involved. So it's redundant to call a murder a hate crime. Just saying. That's redundant and it's unnecessary. So anyway, but FBI is pushing that chestnut. Also, if you want to read the manifesto, there's a translated manifesto. Apparently he wrote it in some weird type of language. And yes, I did say he. Minneapolis shooter manifesto translated. We used AI to translate the shooter's manifesto in English. Viewer discretion advised. The journal contains some Russian language, but is primarily English words spelled out phonetically with Cyrillic characters and some English words. So, and then someone who's Russian speaking said that the words that were supposedly in Russian weren't Russian words, but just weird spellings of shit. A lot of it's phonetic. I don't know why this kid knew how to write in a Cyrillic, but who knows? So if you want to read that, it's pretty fucked up. I'm just telling you. And it's obviously this person has nothing to do with white nationalism, you fuckwads. Is it Klingon? I don't know. It could be. Oh, and then this is interesting. So Mayor Frey, the current mayor of Minneapolis, who may end up being mayor again, by the way, because that dude, the little Somalian dude, got dumped by the DFL, aka Democrat Farmer Labor Party. But he uses this as a time to slander Christians. Do they have the video? Oh, they don't. I'll have to find that. I had it. This is apparently the Daily Caller now is doing this too. Copy. We'll see if we can get an archived version of that story too for you.
Yes, it was. But the video is probably not available. Let's see if it'll play the video. It will not. Let's see. We'll find Mayor Frey here. Here, let's do it over here. Because I saw him. What he said, and it's just one of those things where they don't want to claim their own. That's the funny thing about it. But if this were a right winger, boy, I'll tell you what, Keith Olbermann and Rachel Maddow and all this fucking usual suspects, we talking about this being a right wing lunatic. Are any of them going to talk about it being a left wing lunatic? Anybody? Here, Mayor Frey, this dickhead. I'm glad I don't live in Minneapolis. I got to tell you, here it is. Here's Mayor Jacob Frey talking about this incident. Listen to this dickhead. Come on. Come on. What the hell's going on here? Circle of death. Here, let's just try it here. Okay, let's see if I can find it down here. Let's try this one. Okay, here's this one. Maybe this one will work.
All of us. And I have heard about a whole lot of hate that's being directed at our trans community. Anybody
protect the trans
who is using this as an opportunity
to talk about mental health,
our trans community or any other community out there.
Stop right there. If this were just an everyday white male, do you think they would be celebrating the idea of trashing white males? And I'm not a white male. I don't care about white males other than I have lots of friends who are white males. This would be the biggest opportunity this side of fucking Neptune to trash white males. In fact, there are people on the internet trashing white males right now because of this guy, girl, whatever the fuck he is. And there was a video I watched, this crazy lady, this New Jersey chick, just bitched and moaned about this. And someone said to her, this is a trans woman. And she says, because she was saying all school shooters are white males, which they're not. I mean, obviously the dude at Virginia Tech wasn't a white male. But anyway, all school shooters are white male. This was a trans woman. Well, he's still a white male. People should be getting the fucking vapors. Anyway, here's the rest of Jacob Frey.
Has lost their sense of common humanity.
Really? If this were a white male and people were saying something about white males, you would not say those words, dickhead.
We should not be operating out of a place of hate for anyone.
Really? Because the shooter did.
We should be operating from a place of love for our kids.
Really? Because the shooter didn't. I understand what he's trying to say, but he's so full of shit. And then he was on, where was he on? CNN? He's very mad people were talking about prayer. Oh my God, he's so mad about people talking about prayer.
Obviously, I've heard about the rhetoric and the narrative that is being pushed out, but here's the thing. Anybody that is going to use this as an opportunity to villainize our trans community,
mental health, mental health,
any community, has lost touch with a common humanity. We got to be operating not out of hate for any.
Oh, apparently he wrote the same speech to be on TV.
That's where the focus.
Okay, so those are his talking points. Those are his talking points for this. Not mental health crisis, not anything like that, but make sure you protect. Now, look, obviously, not all trans people go around shooting up schools. We know that. But when you guys had the rhetoric that it was always white males shooting up the schools, where was this concern for demonizing a community at the time? Where was that? Because they got a lot of them now. A lot of them retard. Oh my God. So anyway, a couple other articles open. After transgender church massacre, Mayor of Minneapolis urges rallying for the trans community. Just like what? Oh, I guess are trans the new Muslims? Is that what it is? And not all Muslims are doing that violent jihad thing. And Miranda Devine article in the New York Post about school shootings reflect the tragic cause of disordered society, including Democrat leaders who lost the plot. So there you go. You can read those on your own. There's a lot of articles in the aggregator today, but I just realized I'm way over time today. You got the bonus plan today, people. That's got to be it. Maybe we'll talk. I want to talk more about that tomorrow because I'm going to just watch the rhetoric behind this thing as it continues. And I just want to see how off the rails some of these leftists are. Because they're like I said this is a conundrum for them right now. They want to blame a specific demographic, but this particular person who's in that particular demographic also doesn't identify as that demographic. So now they got to decide, well, is this a white male problem or is this a transgender problem or is whatever? But it's because they would be exploiting the fuck out of it. If it were, let's say it was a Trump supporter. Could you imagine if this shooter was a Trump supporter who went into a Catholic church and started shooting kids and he was a pro-Trump guy? Because the news tried to make you think that. And that's probably why the dickheads at Occupy Democrats posted that bullshit. So anyway, here are the links from today in the chat. Those are all the links. I'll drop them in the description. That's it for me today. I got to go. Thank you to our superstar sponsor today, Avocados Diabli. I'm going to start to remember to announce that every day. And to everyone in the chat, everyone who hit the like button. If you didn't hit the like button, you have issues, okay? You've got fucking issues. Why haven't you hit the like button yet? Looks like most of you have. So that one or two of you, fix yourself. Okay, that's it. I gotta go. Thanks, everybody. My name's PDawgKnight. I'm out of here because this show's over. Bye. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thanks for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.